Hey everyone, welcome to this new moon Sidereal astrology forecast for the new moon on Friday, January 24th, 2020. All right, so new moon in Capricorn. If you're expecting me to say Aquarius just then, be sure to check out the link down below. We're using the actual size of the constellations, which does change the signs from mainstream astrology. All right, so time of new beginnings here with Capricorn, the sea goat. Great time of now cultivating the side of ourself that sees the long road, right? Capricorn sees what takes time. It's the side of ourself that is patient and disciplined and constructive. And so developing this side of ourself is great this next lunar month and solar year, you could say. So with this, we do have a square up to Uranus. So there could be some erratic changes, or we're just wanting some changes, collectively speaking. Like a bit of that radical energy. So good to find conscious and constructive and healthy ways of inducing some change or freedom with whatever these new beginnings are about. Minor sextile up to Chiron, maybe some healing available on a minor note. And important to remember that Saturn is still next to Pluto. So with whatever is being built with this long-term perspective, good to allow for that restructuring. In fact, that restructuring might even be inducing some of these new beginnings for a lot of us. All right, so let's take a look at all of this here in more detail when we return. All right, so here is the chart for this new moon. So the new moon will be at 1923 Eastern Time of the Americas, if you do want to make that calculation for wherever you are in the world. But for all intents and purposes, this video will be for the surrounding days, Thursday, Friday, and Saturday. All right, so time of new beginnings. Leading up to Friday, we're ending a very powerful eclipse cycle. The lunar cycle was an eclipse cycle last month. So things are finalizing, and in this case, something new is starting to emerge. And the newness collectively will be dealing with Capricorn. And so Capricorn, the sea goat, is the side of ourself that is willing to see the long-term perspective, take time with things, do the responsible thing, right? And so developing these qualities that come with this. So things like discipline, responsibility, patience, right? That long-term sort of perspective, really good to develop at this time. Now, one thing about Capricorn, though, it is the sea goat. And so it's important to recognize that although the goat side of it is about really building new structures, right? If we look at goats, they're these mountain climbers. And so Capricorn represents the mountain. Like, what is this long-term maybe achievement or thing we can build that we know is going to take some time? And in that sense, it is about taking one step at a time. If we just try to scale the mountain overnight, it's very difficult to do. But if we do it one day at a time, one step at a time, then it becomes very constructive. And if you look at goats, they're always testing what they're standing on, right? They stomp their feet, make sure what they're standing on is solid. And so this is also metaphoric to make sure that whatever it is we're building or building structures with, to test the foundations we're standing on. Make sure they're sturdy before taking, again, that next step forward. So really good to do that. But the sea side of it, if we look at the actual constellation, the goat doesn't actually have feet. It's more of like a mermaid, the fish energy. And so the sea goat side of it is remembering that although Capricorn and, more specifically Saturn rule the third dimensional realm, right? They rule space and time and this physical reality that we experience. We are, of course, all spiritual beings, and it's important to remember those spiritual roots. So with whatever it is that we're building or taking seriously or starting anew here, remembering that it needs to be something important on a soul level and something that, really speaks to our true self, and maybe is something that, speaks that more soul essence and soul food and what's soul satisfying for us. So with that, though, great time of new beginnings with this grounded side of ourselves, specifically with Capricorn. So we do have this square up to Uranus, which with whatever these new beginnings could be about, there might be this wanting of some radical change, or maybe some things in life inducing some change and unexpected kind of energy. But the best way of working with this is to intentionally induce change. What can we do that is this long-term or a thing that we might be starting anew, requiring patience or discipline, that we can also have some healthy changes with, right? What can we revolutionize in our life? What can we induce a little bit of freedom with? A little bit of, listening to that side that wants independence and wants to change things, and doing it in conscious and constructive ways. And in this way, it becomes an excellent time for these things that, again, can speak to more of the responsibilities, but also speaks to our independent side with Uranus and Aries, right? Speaks to our true self, speaks to that side that does want that freedom. Because in order, what's the point of structures if we don't have freedom? And sometimes it does take revolutionizing and inducing some change in order to create some new structures in life. So really good way of working with that sort of square there. That's really the only major aspect with the new moon. We do have a minor sextile up to Chiron. So on a very minor note, there could just be an opening for some healing, and that could be physical or spiritual healing, just sort of available with this. And anything we do that kind of is more willing to go with the flow or accept things for how they are in the present moment, that could be very healing or therapeutic, maybe even some alone time or spiritual time with Chiron and Pisces. But again, a very minor thing there. All right, and it's always important to look at the dispositor of the new moon. So in this case, Saturn. Saturn is conjunct up to Pluto still, and in Sagittarius. So a lot of these new beginnings are probably about maybe some future potentials, or about building some beliefs, or kind of inspiring things or more expansive things in our life. So still good to get into that fiery energy. But at the same time, there is this restructuring taking place with Pluto. So whatever has started to restructure, you've started to think about restructuring in your life here in January. This new moon could be a new beginning to that, or at least a nice step in the right direction with that if that has already started for you. All right, and so this lunar month, great for, yes, building, incorporating that patient long-term approach, but in terms of maybe practicing non-attachment. So we can allow for changes, allow for some restructuring, to take place, with these new things we're building. All right, everyone. So that is the new moon in a nutshell. Now, in terms of the surrounding days leading up to Friday, it is a good time to, again, finalize and complete the previous lunar month, which was a very powerful one with the eclipses. So, letting the energies die down, approaching even through Friday, allowing things to be ended, completed. And then after the new moon, going into Saturday, Sunday, and even especially next week, slowly building some new beginnings, or setting some intentions, or just being aware of what new might be arising in our life with this new cycle that's starting. All right. On Thursday leading up to Friday, there might be particularly a bit of that erratic energy, wanting to, again, induce some change, or wanting some freedom. So again, finding conscious ways of doing that, maybe particularly on Thursday with Sun square up to Uranus. And then after the new moon, we do have a nice minor aspect. We have Mercury sextiling Mars. So there could be some directness, maybe with our communications. It could be maybe some energy to learn, do some reading, writing, communication, a bit of fire energy behind our mind and practical lives here after the new moon on Saturday. All right, everyone. But most important thing, these surrounding days, is this new beginning. Again, 1923 Eastern Time of the Americas, if you want to make that calculation for wherever you are in the world. And in the constellation of the Sea Goat, Capricorn. New beginning with this disciplined side of ourself, responsible, sees the long road, long-term benefits. What are some short-term gains we can give up for some long-term gains, right? What's important there? Productivity, Capricorn could be very good for productive things, having that healthy level of detachment and reserve. That can be useful for that. But again, discipline. Some squaring up to Uranus, so listening to the side that does want to induce some change, some radical changes, some more freedom in our life, and doing that in conscious and constructive ways. And restructuring some things likely with this new beginning to further develop these structures may require some restructuring to do so. So everyone, have a fantastic new moon. Now down below in the comment section, I will put which house this is for your sidereal signs. Make sure you're looking at that for your sidereal sign though, and that'll give you a more specific look at which area this is for you. For some of you, it's maybe your career. Some of you, maybe it's relationships, home stuff, whatever it might be. You can check that out for more detail of your sidereal signs. But have a fantastic new moon, everyone. Thank you so much for watching. Be sure to click that like button if you found this video helpful, and I'll see you all next time for the next daily video. Take care.